seriously are you taking the impeachment talk?
Not at all seriously. We had a perfect phone call with the president of Ukraine. Everybody knows it. It's just a Democrat witch hunt. Here we go again.
That's Donald Trump claiming that he's not worried about impeachment following a whistleblower complaint that he had made a troubling promise to the leader of Ukraine. Now, Nancy Pelosi is still refusing to impeach him, and maybe that's the reason why he claims he's not worried about impeachment. But over the weekend, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called Nancy Pelosi out, tweeting, quote, "At this point, the bigger national scandal isn't the president's law-breaking behavior. It is the Democratic Party's refusal to impeach him for it." Now, what did Pelosi do in response to this whistleblower report? Well, according to Politico, Pelosi wrote in a rare weekend letter to lawmakers that President Donald Trump would enter, quote, "a grave new chapter of lawlessness" if he succeeded in blocking Congress from learning about his reported conversations pressing Ukrainian officials to investigate the son of former Vice President Joe Biden. Now, this actually isn't a rare response from Nancy Pelosi. She loves to write strongly worded letters, but obviously that's done nothing to hinder Donald Trump and his lawless behavior.
Okay, so that's hilarious. It's grave, is it, Nancy? Wow. Who cares? Who cares what you say? What are you going to do? You've written these letters in the past. Oh, you better not do this. And then Trump does it, and you go, okay, never mind. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever the hell you want. So your empty threats are totally and utterly useless. In fact, they're counterproductive because you're saying it's a new era of lawlessness, as if what Donald Trump was doing before was not lawlessness.
Right,
so
exactly.
it's an implicit way of helping him for the 100th time in a row. Now, to AOC's comments, she is exactly right. Why? So you think logically, wait a minute, it seems like what Trump is doing is the most significant problem. I mean, working with a foreign government, asking them for a political favor against his opponent, maybe even offering them American aid, that's in essence a bribe, let alone campaign finance violations, obviously illegal, unconstitutional, etc. So how could Pelosi's reaction and the Democratic reaction overall be worse? Well, remember this, people will always break laws. That's not the question. There'll always be an injustice somewhere, that's not the question. And from time to time, there'll be a terrible political actor who breaks the laws. That's not the question. The question is, do we have a system that can stop it? And so if the system says it's okay, well then you've opened the floodgates to complete lawlessness. So that's why not taking action against a crime or a violation, a constitutional violation of our system is more dangerous than the illegal act in the first place. There'll always be illegal acts. The question is whether you're going to do something about it. And if you say you won't, what you've done is, yes, your actions are worse because you've now made lawlessness the regular order in America.
And she thinks, look,
devastating.
This is not the politically savvy thing to do, pursuing impeachment, because she's worried that that's actually going to hurt the Democrats. But in reality, it's funny, like the way the media reports the investigations that Democrats are doing is that they're trying to impeach him. So the right-wingers in this country, right-wing voters specifically, think that she's actually pursuing impeachment when she's not. So she's gonna suffer the political ramifications of impeachment when she's not even doing impeachment. And by suffer political ramifications, I'm only talking about people who don't support Democrats in the first place. So it doesn't even matter. You're right, Cenk, the most important thing to do here is protect the rule of law, and more importantly, protect our system of government, which is supposed to have checks and balances in place. But Pelosi's scared, and strongly worded letters is not enough to get Donald Trump to do the right thing. That is not a consequence for Donald Trump. If anything, he's been emboldened by the outcome of previous investigations. So one other thing I wanted to note was that the Justice Department's Civil Division is run by Jody Hunt. And Jody Hunt argued that since Congress isn't a formal impeachment process, it shouldn't be given access to top secret or secret testimony and evidence Mueller collected in front of the grand jury. So since they're not in a formal impeachment process, so why don't you start a formal impeachment process and get the documents you need to do a proper investigation. Otherwise, we're just playing games. And Nancy Pelosi gets the most heat, but there are plenty of other Democrats who are incredibly weak and spineless on this issue, including Adam Schiff in this next video. Take a look.
If the president did, in fact, in that phone call, push the Ukrainian president to investigate Hunter Biden and Joe Biden 8 times, as the Wall Street Journal reported, is it an impeachable offense in your view?
Well, Jake, I have been very reluctant to go down the path of impeachment for the reason that I think the founders contemplated in a country that has elections every 4 years, that this would be an extraordinary remedy, a remedy of last resort, not first resort. But if the president is essentially withholding military aid at the same time that he is trying to browbeat a foreign leader into doing something illicit, that is providing dirt on his opponent during a presidential campaign, then that may be the only remedy that is co-equal to the evil that conduct represents. We're going to hear from the director of national intelligence on Thursday, why he is the first director to withhold ever a whistleblower complaint. And we are going to make sure that we get that complaint, that whistleblower is protected. And we're going to make sure that we find out whether the president is engaged in this kind of improper conduct. But it may be that we do have to move forward with that extraordinary remedy.
God, the Democrats are so pathetic. Do you know that 98% of voters don't even know what you just said? Blah, 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 extraordinary co-equal remedies, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now let me show you how to do it, because you obviously, well, it's not that you don't know how to do it, it's that Nancy Pelosi has sent out her eunuchs to go and say, I don't know if we're gonna do anything, I'm so scared, right? So, okay, Adam, take notes, okay? This is what you do when Jake Tapper asks you that question. You say, if they do not give us the whistleblower complaint as they are legally obliged to do, we will impeach. We will not allow them to break the law. There will be consequences. If they do give it to us, and it turns out Donald Trump promised American aid so that he can get a political gift, he will be immediately impeached. That is unconstitutional. If you'd like, I could read you the Constitution right now. If he didn't promise that, and they do turn over the transcript, well, then we're having a different conversation. But if either one of those things happen, we're gonna impeach, and we're gonna do it immediately. See, that is clear.
Yeah.
No one is confused by your position. Instead, what do we have right now? Jerry Nadler says, as the head of the Judiciary Committee, that impeachment hearings have begun. So he brings in Corey Lewandowski to be the first witness. Lewandowski says, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you anything, you idiot. Nadler goes, oh, okay. No. Are there consequences? Did you think this through? Or is Pelosi not allowing you to do your job? If you don't give me what I am legally allowed to have for this committee, and you say, no, I'm not gonna follow the law, you're under arrest for contempt of Congress right now. Put him in cuffs, put him in jail, okay? I talked to a bunch of Trump supporters because I was in Iowa this weekend. I'm gonna tell you the longer stories of the postgame. That's the last half hour of the show that's just for members. tyt.com/join to become a member and get that. But I'm gonna give you one small part of it now. One of the Trump supporters was laughing at Nadler. He was so happy. He's like, what an idiot, how weak. Lewandowski made a fool out of him. And I said to him, if he had actually acted strong and said, if you're not gonna answer my questions, I'm gonna put you under arrest, how would you have felt about it then? He's like, well, that would have been different because that would have been strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
See, God, you guys are so stupid. So Trump supporters now think, well, impeachment proceedings have begun and the Democrats are a joke. They can't get anything out of the Trump because they're losers and weak, right? And on the other hand, Pelosi, but you're not allowed to get certain legal documents because Pelosi won't call it impeachment. So as Anna just pointed out, Trump's lawyers go out there and go, well, technically it's not an impeachment, so you're not allowed to have this material. Ha ha, right? It's the worst of all worlds. The Trump team, his legal team, when they found out Mueller was not going to indict based on principle that you can't indict a sitting president, according to Mueller's interpretation of the Department of Justice memos, they were like, oh, excellent, moron. Before, we had to worry about whether he was gonna indict us, so they wouldn't attack Mueller. The minute they found out he's not gonna indict, they said, savage him. Now go tell everybody what an idiot he is and how corrupt he is and how he's working with the Democrats. Let's ruin Mueller, okay? because Mueller did preemptive surrender. And so now the Democrats are doing preemptive surrender. And so, look, I'll get into the consequences for you. I mean, those are the things that I mentioned about that Adam Schiff should say. I said that because that's the reality. If you say to the Trump administration, you don't have to follow the law when Congress asks you for something and they have a legal right to receive that information. That's why Trump, right after the Mueller report, wound up being nothing because Pelosi wouldn't pursue it. He made the call to Ukraine because he said, oh, okay, I guess I could work with any foreign government. There's never any consequences. I could break any laws. I can get dirt from a foreign government, which is clearly illegal. I could promise to give them stuff on behalf of America, which is wildly illegal and unconstitutional, because who cares? The Democrats are stupid and weak. I'm gonna run them over with a steamroller. And right now, Trump supporters all across the country, they don't view that as a problem for Trump. They view it as, hey, that guy's strong. And he was right about the Democrats. They're a bunch of cowards.
Well, our members agree with your analysis and your strong language, Cenk. Rob says, nailed it, Cenk. Analysis like that is why I listen to TYT. And Cheryl Josie says, it's time to ask Pelosi who has what compromat on her, and oh, that's a good point. And why she won't impeach Trump. It's gone beyond her donors now. This is surreal. So I'm so grateful that you made that point, and I wanted to bring this up earlier in the show. You know, it is kind of interesting that the Democrats have refused to do a full investigation into Donald Trump's financial dealings with foreign leaders, particularly Russia, which has given Donald Trump loans when he had no business having loans. I'm wondering if they're refusing to do that because they know that members of their own party, particularly some of the more centrist establishment Democrats, have dirt on them, right?
Yeah.
So their own financial dealings when it comes to other world leaders. I don't know, it's just a guess.
No, it's an excellent guess. So let me fill in a little bit here so you get the details. So for example, Richard Neal, head of the House Ways and Means Committee, one of Pelosi's eunuchs, he had the right to ask for Trump's New York State tax returns. For a couple of weeks, Trump had not sued yet to block it. And he could have gotten it at any moment. He voluntarily chose not to get Trump's tax returns. The Democrats had it. They had it. The elusive tax returns. All Richard Neal had to do was ask for it. He didn't ask for it. Now you want to know something interesting? Richard Neal has not released his tax returns. Okay. So the viewer there, and we read member comments first. So tyt.com/join to become a member, and we do the show together. The viewer there, I think, is a little headed in slightly wrong direction when talking about compromat on Nancy Pelosi. I don't think that they have some sort of incriminating evidence, et cetera. Well, no, it's much simpler than that. One, the Democrats also take corporate donor money, so that's why they never call out the Republicans for taking corporate donor money. They're also incredibly wealthy, the great majority of them, and a lot of them don't want to release their tax returns. And so they're following the rules of the club. The club is screw your voters. Who cares about Americans? The only people that matter are the people inside the club. So you have to be genteel. Now the Republicans, they don't give a damn about that. So they come into the club wielding, wielding whatever weapon of choice you want to use in a political context.
I like swielding.
Yeah, I know, swielding was a nice, interesting word that I made up. Anyway, but the Democrats are like, oh no, I do declare, don't fight back. Yeah. Otherwise, people inside the club will be exposed. Yeah, how about the voters? Don't you want to fight for your voters? I do declare voters.
Well, part of the problem is they haven't fought, and I'm talking about Democratic leadership, they haven't fought for voters in such a long time that it really did give rise to someone like Donald Trump, who used his populist rhetoric to get elected.
One last thing, guys, Richard Neal has a Justice Democrat opponent, Alex Morse, M-O-R-S-E. Please go to his website, find out more about him, because you're never gonna fix the problems in this country, including Trump and his cronies, until you get rid of the corporate Democrats that are the assistants to Donald Trump. And that's exactly what Richard Neal is. He is the worst of the worst in helping Donald Trump stay in power. So if you wanna fight against Republicans, you go Justice Democrats and get the goddamn corporate Democrats out of the way so we can actually get at the Republicans. Alex Morse, go, and he doesn't take any corporate PAC money. All Richard Neal does is take corporate PAC money. So go find your Justice Democrats and tell Richard Neal justice is coming. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.